This is Mujib from North Country Kettlebells. Today I'm going to be taking a moment and talking about exactly what kettlebell training has to offer and how we might be able to reap some of the highest benefits out of the kettlebell and the kettlebell training practice. Now, simply put, I think that the kettlebell is the easiest and most convenient way to lift a heavy weight or to put in a high intensity workout anywhere at your convenience. Now, this is amplified even more when I'm focusing on form and on the meditation of active core muscle engagement. So now let's take a moment and talk a little bit about what kettlebell training has to offer and how to apply those benefits across all of your fitness training practices. So when I think about what kettlebell training has to offer, one of the primary benefits of kettlebell training that comes to my mind is that you can really use the kettlebell as a great self-assessment tool. So basically something to ask, how does my body feel right now? How does my ability application feel right now? How do I feel right now? How do I feel through this range of motion or that range of motion? How do I feel at this level of intensity or exertion versus that level of intensity or exertion, right? A good example is, if I'm gonna do 15 clean and squats right now with a comfortable weight, then how does that feel right now versus on days where I feel optimal? Where am I on a scale from 1 to 10? So the kettlebell can really help me to assess my ability, both as far as how I'm applying my strength, but then also to how emotionally I'm responding to what it feels like to apply that strength. And the more that I'm working on within my training program, or the more that I'm trying to integrate my training into other forms of exercise that I'm doing, the more that I'm going to be able to take away from those experiences with the kettlebell, and the more that the value of the kettlebell starts to increase. Now, one of the main things is that I can do any type of exercise set using a kettlebell. So I can mimic a lot of the other goals or processes that I want to get into with other training practices with the kettlebell. Like if I want to become a longer distance runner, then I can organize my kettlebell training sets so that I'm working on my endurance and my stamina. If I want to mimic certain breathing patterns or target heart rates, then I can use the kettlebell training process for that, right? If I want to say I'm trying to get to 75% of my max heart rate, I'm going to use some kettlebell swings to try to get me there. Or if I want to work on the breathing pattern of sprinting, then I'm going to use some kettlebell snatches to work on that breathing pattern. So I can start to take other aspects of other fitness practices and I can mimic that style or that output with my kettlebell training sets. In reality, it's the fact that I can use kettlebells however I want to that gives the training practice a sort of wide specificity, meaning that if I'm a boxer, I can use kettlebell training to mimic my boxing sets. If I'm a cyclist, I can use the kettlebell to mimic how it feels to be on a long distance ride or to be sprinting or doing hills. If I'm looking to stabilize myself or looking to create a level of strength at my end ranges of motion, I can use the kettlebell and I can use some static holds or some other engagement and alignment drills to achieve those goals. And when it comes to kettlebell training, if my goal is to do something like 100 snatches with a 50-pound kettlebell, then my ability to stop whatever I'm doing, pick up the 25-pound kettlebell that's either in my bedroom or in my office, and do 35 to 50 snatches of it is always going to be highly beneficial to achieving that goal. Right? Now, again, this is specifically for kettlebell training, but let's apply that to sprinting or any other drill that I'm going to do where I'm going to call on my body's ability. If I can mimic that practice and the duration of that practice at the drop of a hat, then that's going to make the tool that I'm doing that with a very, very valuable tool to me. It's really like keeping a guitar around in your space when you're working on trying to learn how to play the guitar. At any moment, I can pick that up, I can play a little bit of what I've been practicing. It doesn't have to be a big ordeal. In fact, it's those little bites that I take frequently that are gonna have some of the highest positive impacts on my practice. As a result of this, I'm just gonna be continuously getting better every single time that I pick it up. Again, to tie this back into the training practice, if I'm gonna pick up this kettlebell and do a few clean and presses and then put it back down and get back to work, I'm just imprinting on my body, hey, I can perform this perfect rep whenever I want to. So when we get back into our training session, I wanna call back on this moment and apply it to that 45-minute on the mat training session. Now, with all this said, there are definitely exercise scientific benefits to using kettlebells, right? If I look at core stabilization tools, or if I look at core engagement tools, as far as a single weight to use, the kettlebell is going to have some of the most versatility there, right? If I have one 35-pound kettlebell, I can give myself a wonderful range of stability and engagement exercises to do. And those are just two aspects that make kettlebell training a standout practice, especially when looked at as a unilateral tool or something that I'm just going to be using on one side at a time. But to keep it simple, let's just say, in addition to many other things, one of the primary benefits that kettlebell training has to offer is in the overall convenience for pursuing both general and specific goals at a variety of intensities from wherever we are and for however long we're looking to get into the practice. So again, it's really the fact that I can slide this kettlebell out from under my desk and give myself a very intense workout in anywhere from 5 to 50 minutes without even leaving my office. And that's always, to me, going to be one of the highest benefits of kettlebell training and one of the greatest things that kettlebell training has to offer. So there you have it. A few of the benefits of kettlebell training and a few reasons why kettlebell training is a high impact offering when it comes to fitness training practices. For me, it's the convenience of being able to pursue both general and specific goals at a variety of intensities from wherever I am and for however long I want to get into it. Just by learning a few of the principles of progressive kettlebell training, we can learn how to apply these principles across all other fitness practices and across everything else that we might come in contact with in our daily lives. So, learn to use progressive kettlebell training and it will apply to everything else that you do. You can always learn more about progressive kettlebell training by visiting northcountrykettlebells.com, where you can also reach out with any questions or comments that you have in regards to the training. You can follow me on Instagram at NC Kettlebells and on Facebook, North Country Kettlebells. And you can also find more NCK videos on YouTube and Vimeo by searching North Country Kettlebells. This is Mujib from North Country Kettlebells talking about what kettlebell training has to offer and how to apply those benefits across all other fitness practices. Enjoy.